Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor and pleasure to be given the opportunity to talk to you today. I extend greetings to you also from Marina Pitzig and Annette Eichstädt, who are the Eichelmännli translator team. Here they are, Marina Pitzig and Annette Eichstädt. We all regret very much not to be able to attend this occasion, but who knows, there might be a next time. First and foremost, we wish to thank all of those involved in this project and all those who made this event possible. Now, the thoughts I want to share with you today center mainly around flying flowers. So what I want to talk about is flying flowers are more important than trophies. But before I start, I just want to give you a quick rundown on some of my motives for initiating the publication of About Hunting by Sergei Timofeyevich Aksakov in German and in Russian. The first reason is this man here, Napoleon. Ask 1,000 educated Westerners who Napoleon is or was, and you'll get about 999 having at least heard of him. Now, ask the same people who Kutuzov was, and you almost certainly draw a blank. Except, of course, for one or two guys who are dead sure that Kutuzov was a Russian hockey player. The Western ignorance and hubris are sometimes unbearable, and not just in the past. And I don't think I have to go into details here. A project like ours, published parallel in 2 languages, won't change much, but it might open a window to a few interested German speakers, or German-speaking readers rather, and lead them to have a closer look at Russian culture in general. Such readers will be few in numbers, but I comfort myself with the thought that quality matters more than quantity. Why then, perhaps you ask yourself, the Russian edition? My interest in Aksakov dates some years back. I did some research and found a catalogue of works. There I spotted that none of his minor works, and minor very much in inverted commas, on hunting, fishing and mushroom hunting had been translated into any foreign language. I was tickled. And when, through another project, I met the bilingual Marina Pitzig, she did a thorough research in Russian and found out that these texts had never been published together in Russian either. And more than that, none of the Russian editions of the complete works of Aksakov are really complete, because in all of them, at least one of the texts published in our collection is missing. So, Marina then got in touch with the Aksakov Memorial Museum in Ufa, and director Michael Chvanov and his team came on board to complete the crew for this project. And from then on, it was plain sailing, and the reason why we meet here today. Of course, the strongest motive to publish Aksakov are the writings of Aksakov, but that doesn't require any explanation. So back to my main theme, why are butterflies more important than trophies? You guessed it, of course. Aksakov referred to butterflies as flying flowers. What beautiful imagery. So why are butterflies more important than trophies? As you probably know, hunting and fishing in the West face a stiff headwind from the animal rights movement. This anti-hunting movement is, however, mushrooming everywhere, and its goal is to seek the end of all animal use by humans, be it for food, work, or pleasure. In an ideal world, from the point of view of the animal rights movement, we would all be vegan. The blind would not be allowed guide dogs because that is said to be equal to human slavery. And of course, all hunting and fishing would be banned. The roots of such visions are philosophical. In the last 50 years or so, the animal rights movement had Western universities to themselves, and its successes are truly remarkable. One of the great strategic successes of the animal rights movement is, for example, Article 13 in the Treaty of Lisbon. This treaty is a bit like constitutional law for the European Union, and in it, animal rights are firmly anchored. Another great success is the dignity of animals in the Swiss constitution. That dignity for animals is really a mind-boggling concept. Just imagine an Italian wolf crossing the border into Switzerland. In Italy, he is a plain grey wolf. But my word, once he passes the Swiss border, he is a wolf with dignity. He swaggers along through Switzerland, and the moment it passes into Germany, he is a plain wolf again. So the point is, as you might already have realized, no animal can know or not know or want or not want dignity or rights. Concepts like dignity and rights are just beyond them. The entire logic around animal rights is fraught with inconsistencies, and there is also a distinct misanthropic streak. Yet, however much nonsense rights or dignity for animals involve, given the right political majorities, the dignity of animals in Switzerland is a lever to ban hunting and fishing there, or at least make life as difficult as possible for hunters and anglers. Just ask yourself how catching a fish would be compatible with its dignity. The poor thing looks like a perfect fool to its fellow fish, especially when it's caught by me, and if it's too small, I have to put it back. And it will be the laughing stock forever in its fishy world. Its dignity completely gone. And there's only one way to protect its dignity, and that is not going fishing. Now, simplistic as this may seem, that is the gist of it. And make no mistake, I'm not talking cloud cuckoo land here. In England, Holland, Luxembourg, Switzerland, and other countries, restrictive hunting and fishing laws have been passed on the basis of animal rights ideas, and the pressure of animal rights groups and the political parties which support them. In the West, animal rights philosophy has succeeded in establishing itself in all layers of society because no debate or opposition in the educational system for the last 50 years or so. There was massive direct and indirect financial support. And then there is the town-country divide. I'm told that in Russia it's more or less the same as the world over. The people in the countryside tend to be understanding and even supportive of hunting, while urban people tend to be critical or hostile towards hunting. The bridge to critical and hostile people are not bones on the wall, but the flying flowers in the air. The beauty of nature is the key to the hearts and minds of critical and hostile urbanites. And that brings me straight back to Aksakov. In a letter to Gogol, Aksakov writes, "I have undertaken to write a book about angling, not only in its technical aspect, but in relation to nature in general. In relation to nature in general." That, ladies and gentlemen, is a holistic approach before the word holistic was invented. Holistic or not, it is very modern. If hunters and anglers ignore the wider picture, as Aksakov said, the wider picture in relation to nature in general, and are exclusively focused on the actual hunting itself, they will eventually isolate themselves and be seen as harvesting without sowing. The Horn of Plenty days are over, and Aksakov, by the way, had a feeling that the days of the incredible abundance of wildlife there in the Orenburg province might be drawing to a close. In the Family Chronicle, he writes about the Orenburg province as follows. "In our fast-flowing springs, cold and clear as ice, even in the intense heat of summer, flowing beneath the shade of trees and bushes, live all kinds of trout, delicious to eat and beautiful to look at. They will quickly disappear as soon as man gets his dirty hands into the unspoiled streams of their bright, cold habitat." Note the reference to beauty. They are not just trout, they are beautiful trout. And also note how Aksakov's prose flows. It flows even in English as easily and beautifully as the subject it describes. You can see the scene before you in your mind's eye. Maybe 80 years or so after Aksakov, the Czechoslovakian angler, statesman and philosopher Thomas Masaryk wrote, "Wherever there are trout, it is beautiful." And Aksakov would certainly subscribe to that. But what's the significance? Beautiful trout in a stream is an informative descriptor about that stream. Only and only if the water quality is suitable will there be trout. It means riparian agriculture isn't overdoing it in terms of fertilizer or slurry. It means riparian vegetation, bushes and trees give enough cover. So that in turn generates all kinds of life, but especially insect life and That again means birds, and birds in turn, and so on. I'm sure you get the picture. Beauty is life and the diversity of life itself. Now, the beauty in nature to which Aksakov and Masaryk refer is not some kind of romantic or poetic notion, but beauty in nature as such, beauty on its own, so to speak. And there, on its own, it is a vital piece of information about a habitat. Beauty is, in the language of statistics, hard and reliable data. Beauty is hard and reliable data. In other words, beauty can in principle be accounted for scientifically. Back to Aksakov's letter to Gogol. Just as important to understand hunting and angling in relation to nature in general is the following. He says, my passionate angler likewise passionately loves the beauties of nature as well. That is the all-important equation. It says that the true angler and hunter is also a true lover of the beauties of nature. He is a lover of life. There is again an important and essential modern message involved here. I will come back to that in a second. But Aksakov goes on, I hope that this book will be pleasant not only for the lover of fishing, but also for everyone whose heart is open to the impressions of early morning. Aksakovian beauty, as I mentioned before, is not romanticizing. It's realistic about the state of nature. It is also about open hearts. It's about the aesthetic experience and a bond to beauty. That bond entails a responsibility, a duty to beauty, and that duty to beauty in modern terms means nothing else than conservation. Conservation work, ecosystem protection, or whatever you want to call it, is the basis of beauty. Preserving or restoring habitats and biodiversity is preserving and creating life. And part of that beauty is, for example, butterflies and beautiful trophies. But consider what is accessible for everyone whose heart is open. It's again the butterfly, not the trophy, which communicates to the non-hunter the beauty of nature in an obvious way. Of course, the beauty of the trophy counts, because it also informs about the health of an environment, but not in an obvious and easily accessible way as the butterfly does. Of course, the beauty of the hunting experience counts also, but the most important beauty out there is that which can be seen and understood by everyone whose heart is open. I come to my concluding remarks. Beauty is the most underrated concept in modern hunting and fishing. If hunters and anglers can convincingly communicate their support for beauty, they will inevitably create goodwill, understanding, and they will be making friends. Beauty, as I mentioned before, is a bridge, a language everyone understands. Beauty is the most powerful hunting weapon, and Aksakov supplies us to this day with ammunition. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. Cheers.